know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.
This video will look back at the 1970-71 season, as QPR looked to win promotion back to the top flight. After missing out on promotion the previous season, hopes were high of a successful season. There was a big change off the pitch as chief scout Derek Healy invited Gordon Jago to meet with club chairman Jim Gregory and manager Les Allen. Jago had been coaching over in America and was highly thought of in the game, and after an impressive spell working with some of the younger England teams, Jago impressed and was offered a job as first-team coach, working with manager Les Allen, and he would go on to make a major impact at Loftus Road. On the pitch, there were some new additions as well. Up front, Frank Sol joined for £40,000 from Southampton. Sol was a member of the Spurs double-winning team in 1961, before being involved in a swap with Southampton for Martin Chivers in 1968. He also scored in the 1967 FA Cup final against Chelsea. There was also a significant signing in goal, as Phil Parkes joined QPR from Walsall for a fee of £15,000. Parkes had only turned professional 2 years earlier, but would quickly establish himself at Loftus Road, and of course would go on to be one of our greatest ever goalkeepers. Parkes, though, didn't start the season as number one, with Alan Spratley starting on the opening day away at Birmingham. Rodney Marsh missed the opening game, but Frank Sol made his debut alongside Barry Bridges up front, as QPR looked to get off to a good start.
And that ball almost loose for Latchford. Hockey for Vincent. Pendray. Bowden, a touch now. And it's there! Latchford. Summerall, the scorer. What little curler. Out, a missed kick. Bowden. Check Bowden, number 8. That's the second goal of the game for Birmingham, and that Rangers defence in a terrible mess. Francis dithered and Bowden pounced. It's a free ball for Ron Hunt of Rangers. Oh, and this is Bridges now. Bridges, the scorer, makes it 2-1, and one's got to say it, that was a mistake then by Roger High and Barry Bridges, the old Birmingham players.
So not a great start, and it didn't get much better with the opening home game against Leicester City. Phil Parkes made his debut in goal, whilst Rodney Marsh came back in to replace Jerry Francis, but Leicester ran out 3-1 winners. Terry Venables got the goal for Rangers, and he continued his goal-scoring start to the season away at Bolton. Venables scored twice in a 2-2 draw, as we got our first point of the season. Our first win of the season came on the road up at Blackburn. Frank Sol got his first goal for QPR in a 2-0 win, with Mick Leach grabbing the other goal. We followed up that win with a home draw against Watford. Terry Venables again on the score sheet to make it 3 games unbeaten. It was the League Cup next for Rangers. Cardiff City visited Loftus Road, and it was a great night for Les Allen's team. Goals from Bridges, Sol, Venables, and the first of the season from Rodney Marsh earned us a 4-0 win on a night a very young Martin Busby made his debut for QPR, coming off the bench to replace Dave Clement. QPR were back in league action at Hillsborough next, trying to extend that 4-match unbeaten run against Sheffield Wednesday.
That has not gone out of play. Well, Sinclair deserved all the luck that was going there. The only man who would chase that ball. Sinclair. Sissons back to Wilcoxon. A goal! That had to come, and it had to come from Wilcoxon.
So defeat for Rangers, and we dropped to 20th in the table. Any thoughts of promotion seemed a long way off, after a really disappointing start to the season. But we were back to winning ways at home to Bristol City. A first league goal of the season for Rodney Marsh, and another goal for Barry Bridges earned us a 2-1 win. That would prove to be Barry Bridges' final QPR goal, as he left to join Birmingham City. Bridges scored 35 goals in 82 games for Rangers, and he would be missed in what would be a frustrating season at Loftus Road. A trip to Middlesbrough proved to be pretty bleak for Rangers. Rodney Marsh and Dave Clement both got on the score sheet in the first half, but Middlesbrough had scored 4 by half-time, and it left us facing defeat again. Things didn't get much better in the second half as Middlesbrough ran out 6-2 winners. A defeat at home to Luton meant that we ended September in the bottom three, needing to show massive improvement to turn around a really poor start to the season. Terry Venables was top goal scorer with 5 goals, 4 of them from the penalty spot. Barry Bridges and Rodney Marsh both had 3, whilst new signing Frank Soule had 2. Things needed to improve. And October got off to a good start. Leyton Orient came to Loftus Road and were on the end of an absolute hammering, Rangers winning 5-1. 2 goals each for Rodney Marsh and Ian Morgan, whilst Terry Venables made it 6 for the season with another penalty as we moved out of the relegation zone. Our League Cup run came to an end at Fulham as a crowd of over 31,000 were in attendance for a 2-0 win for Fulham, who were managed by former QPR manager Bill Dodgin, who would go on to lead Fulham to promotion from the 3rd Division that season. It was back-to-back losses, though, with a 1-0 defeat at Swindon before the big match cameras were here in West 12 to see QPR face Birmingham City at Loftus Road.
Hockey very aggressive, but Hazel coming away with it, finding Venables in turn to Marsh, faced by Robinson. Marsh with a shot across the goal, and Kelly really had to get down to that one from Marsh. Taken almost from nothing, Rodney Marsh there. Ball still in play. Ron Hunt. And now Gillard. Marsh was calling for it, and a slip there allows Marsh to go in! A goal by Marsh! What a goal! Mike Kelly absolutely beaten, and Rodney Marsh puts Rangers ahead with 5 minutes gone. Well, there was a slip by Robinson, and Marsh really pounced on that one. Well, certainly Mike Kelly's been pretty busy in this opening quarter of an hour or so. Rangers leading by a goal to nil, scored by Rodney Marsh. And now Mike Ferguson with the corner, Clement right up there, as you'll see. Marsh getting ahead to it. Oh, Rodney Marsh! A second goal to Marsh with 14 minutes gone. And from the corner, Rodney Marsh getting above everybody else to flick that ball so beautifully wide of Kelly for his second goal, and Rangers as well. Gillard pumped in there by Thompson for Latchford. Surprising how much time Latchford was given. Summerhill! Oh, magnificent save! And a goal by Latchford after one superb save by Parks, who must be very, very annoyed. Slack work certainly in the defence there by Rangers, allowing Latchford in the first place so much time. Summerhill shot touchdown and Latchford making it 2-1. Campbell. Oh, good play there by Ferguson. Flick forward now for Morgan. He's got Marsh over on the right. Here's Marsh. And a tremendous break by Venables now. Oh, and a good... Is it a goal? It is a goal by Venables, who ran like a hare. What a tremendous piece of football by Venables, running onto that, passed by Marsh. And the power of his shot completely deceiving Kelly, who got a hand to it and couldn't save it. Mike Kelly, no wonder he shakes his head. Hockey looking for somebody free and finds Vincent. Beard's gone outside him. Hockey. Still Hockey. Beard right out there still, Malcolm Beard. A little chip through there for Summerhill, taken well on the body twice. Across their goal, Latchford! Oh, a goal and a good one! Beautifully made though by Summerhill for Latchford. His second of the game. What magnificent skills there on the touchline, on his body by Summerhill. Laid across there, and a simple enough task then for Latchford. Well, at this rate, with 5 goals in 20 minutes, we're going to need a cricket scoreboard to keep this match going, to keep abreast of it. Here's Vincent. Good work by Vincent. Oh, and nearly there, creeping inside the post with Parks plunging across his goal from Vincent to push it aside. Summerhill, across well, and Latchford, oh, within an ace of getting his hat-trick and the equaliser for Birmingham City. He really is an opportunist, this fellow, in the 6-yard area. Venables shielding the ball well. Ferguson to pump it across again, and McCulloch goes in! So the new boy gets a goal, Andy McCulloch, and a very good header indeed. Well, there's no happier boy in football today than Andy McCulloch. Signed as a professional yesterday, and he still hasn't had his forms accepted by the league because they have to have 48 hours, so he's in this strange no man's land of being half amateur and half professional, but my goodness, he's amongst the goal scorers. Summerhill harried and hustled all the way by Clement and hustled into an error, and Ferguson is right there in the middle of it. Will it come through to Marsh? Oh, look at that for skill by Marsh! Oh, and what a goal! Rodney Marsh's hat-trick! Oh, what incredible skill by Marsh! There really was no way through, and yet Rodney Marsh found a way through. And certainly Eusebio in that number 10 shirt couldn't have done better than Marsh.
Last year, I did say in an interview with Terry Venables on this programme that you were too easily beaten away from home, and I didn't think you'd get promotion last year. That seems to apply even more this season.
Yeah. The thing is there, Jim, you see, when we're at home, we really go outside, you know, we play with two wingers wide and we really go at the people. But when we go away from home, we tend to be more defensive-minded, you know, which I don't think is a good thing for us.
A great win there, and that was followed up with a 3-1 win at Oxford. Goals from Venables, Mike Ferguson and Jerry Francis helped QPR to back-to-back wins for the first time that season. And we made it 3 wins in a row at home to Portsmouth. Dave Clement and Ian Morgan were on the score sheet this time. We ended October in 11th place, but things were certainly looking up. Rodney Marsh was now joint top goal scorer with 8 goals following that hat-trick against Birmingham, and it put him on 99 QPR goals across his career. Venables also had 8 goals, but after a promising month, things quickly fell away as the club had a miserable couple of months. Defeat at home to Cardiff was followed up by a point at Sheffield United. Ron Hunt with a goal for Rangers before a trip to Hull where the home side scored this goal in a 1-1 draw. Mick Leach got QPR's equaliser, which sadly we haven't got any footage of. The poor form continued though. Charlton thrashed us 4-1 at Loftus Road before Sunderland gained an easy 3-1 win at home to us at the start of December. It was now 6 games without a win as we faced Carlisle at home. And despite Rodney Marsh scoring his 100th goal for QPR, we couldn't get a win. This time it was a draw, 1-1. Marsh, though, had become just the 4th player in our history to score 100 goals for QPR, and only one player has scored 100 or more for QPR since, which shows what an incredible achievement this was. It was Leicester next for Rangers, as we look to put an end to this poor run.
The Queen's Park Rangers line up, much changed. They made all the headlines in the morning papers, in particular with the dropping of their skipper, Terry Venables. They've got youngsters McGovern and Francis wearing the 7 and 11 shirt, and Evans, who's the substitute, is only just 18. The Rangers team skippered by Frank Sibley. He hasn't had the job since the brief reign of Tommy Docherty at Loftus Road, and he's been out of the first team with injury since September. The other skipper, number 3 there, David Nish, he gets married tomorrow, and our congratulations to him. I don't know who's officiating then, but the man officiating at Filbert Street this afternoon, Jim Finney of Hereford. A good-looking crowd for what is traditionally the worst Saturday of the season, the last Saturday before Christmas. And it's Queen's Park Rangers who get us away, looking to end a run of 7 games without a victory. Rangers in the stripes, maroon and black, and the dark shorts. Not a bad ball to Francis to start off. Shilton getting a hand there, and in fact the ball hadn't gone as he thought it had. Yes, it has. He was appealing for it, and Mr. Finney giving the goal kick. So Stephen Whitworth, Leicester in blue shirts and white shorts. Carlin getting through Busby. Stringfellow. That's a good ball from Nish to Farrington. Whitworth going like a train outside him. Farrington going like a train himself. Good shot, good stop. Pretty pacey, this boy Farrington. And it was a good right foot shot, well appreciated. Stringfellow on the far post. Brown on the near. Cameron who got the header. Saul back. Marsh took the pace off it nicely to find McGovern. Placed it well. Now Marsh again to Saul. Rangers coming out of their shell just a bit. Kellard. Busby. Nish across. This looks interesting. Cross a little bit too long. Farrington giving the attack some width. Marsh. Through Kellard, beautifully played. Pass intended for Saul. Well, Nish looks hurt. Marsh acknowledging it straight away. Carling cross about it. A little bit silly, really. And Jim Finney going to have a word with Marsh. Just sort of stuck out the knee, though quite why. Wasn't the most intelligent. A little bit of a confrontation going on here. Marsh wanting Jim Finney to come to him, and Jim Finney wanting Marsh to come to him. Well, I think they probably ended slightly in Jim Finney's way. Presumably Jim Finney telling him not to be a silly boy, because that's exactly what that was. Cross. Saul finding Leach. Mike Leach. Watson going up with him. Busby square of him. Saul in the middle. Cross away to Farrington. Francis. Not a particularly good... All the big fellows up. Stringfellow, Sjoberg, Brown. Stringfellow getting up. Another wrestling match going on. Goalkeeper's got it. Diving right amongst feet. And they weren't very happy that a few feet flew around the goalkeeper. Referee has pulled Sibley away, and Marsh. The referee having words with Stringfellow. I think it was his foot that was flailing around. There's always a smile on Jim Finney's face at the right time, just there, which shows a certain sympathy with the problems of the players, although he makes quite sure he gets what he wants. Sjoberg. Nish, but there's no more time. The first time since the first game of the season that Leicester have failed to score at home. The first time they've failed to win since their second home game of the season, and a point which could cost them very dear indeed. Queen's Park Rangers, one feels that they've got the main thing that they came for, and they've certainly found new spirit. A point, as I said, that could well cost Leicester the leadership of the second division in a 0-0 draw at Filbert Street.
So a 0-0 draw made it 8 games without a win against the Leicester side, who will go on to win the second division that season. It meant we ended December in a disappointing 16th place. Rodney Marsh was top scorer with 9 goals, but frustrations were really growing in West 12, and it wouldn't be long before big changes were made. Coach Gordon Jago decided to leave the club after the FA Cup game. He said in his autobiography, "The atmosphere within the club was terrible and I wasn't enjoying the situation. I accepted that I had to take some responsibility and decided it would be best to depart the club. I had received an offer to return to America as head coach of the St. Louis Stars in the NASL. With the FA Cup third round at home to Swindon, I felt we would get a good victory and I could at least leave on a positive note. Sadly for Gordon, it was another defeat, Swindon won 2-1, so out of the FA Cup and dropping towards the relegation zone. It was time for change. Jim Gregory sacked manager Les Allen, who would go down as a legend as a player, but had struggled to repeat that as a manager when expectations were really high. Jago went in to see Jim Gregory, planning on resigning, but was in for a shock. In his autobiography, he recalls the meeting. Jim said, "Now you know I've released Les, and I want you to take over for 2 weeks whilst I decide further action." I don't remember exactly how I felt on hearing that decision, but I said yes, as St Louis didn't really require my services until May, so I informed them I would stay at QPR until Jim Gregory had resolved his problems on the new manager. Jago made a good start though, a 0-0 draw away at Alex Stock's Luton, before goals from Jerry Francis and Rodney Marsh helped QPR to a 2-0 win over Oxford. And that was followed up with another 2-0 win, this time against Sunderland. Hull City were up next for QPR as we look to make it 3 games unbeaten at home.
What's the game there for Marsh at the far side? Marsh! There it is! The coolest of Rodney Marsh! And the goalkeeper coming right out, McKechnie, to argue with the referee, and he's getting himself into trouble. And Marsh was waiting for it at the far side. And Marsh was there with inimitable coolness to whack it in for Rangers' first goal. De Vries. Houghton hoping to get out of this one. Nodded on nicely there for Wagstaff. Oh, what a save! What a save from Wagstaff by Bill Parks. Chilton spending more and more time on that right touchline, low and hard. Wagstaff with a real chance here. Down he goes. This, he's given the penalty. Now Phil Parks, his biggest test of the afternoon, facing Terry Neal. Because if Howell can get a point here, it's going to be a precious point. He won't have taken many more important kicks this. Now we have it from behind the goal, a beautiful view. As Neal tries for the penalty. Oh, and he's missed it! Here comes the corner. So many Hull players are up for it as well. Hunt getting it away, but only as far as Wilkinson. Banks there to try and hammer it through. And Wagstaff, and a goal! Right at the very end by Wagstaff.
Jago was really impressing everyone, and he was offered the job until the end of the season. So with a job in America lined up if things didn't work out, the pressure was off for the caretaker manager. The results, though, dipped a little bit after that bright start, and we won just 1 of the next 7 games, with the team struggling in 17th place. Jago needed to find a way to turn things around, and he explained his plan in his autobiography. He said, "We concentrated on counter-attacking, and I felt it was important that we did place an important emphasis on that part of the game. Despite the fact that we weren't in a great position, we needed goals. 0-0 draws don't get you out of trouble. What came next was instilling a belief in what we were doing, and the players seemed to respond. Respond they did, as Rodney Marsh double helped Rangers to a 2-1 win at Watford, which sparked a strong finish to the season. Marsh was in fine form. He followed that up with a hat-trick against Bolton in a 4-0 win before Sheffield Wednesday came to W12 and had absolutely no answer to Marsh, who scored the winner, making it 6 goals in 3 games. Jago spoke about the influence of Marsh in that period. He said, "Our plan had worked, but in my mind it was only successful thanks to the scoring ability of Rodney Marsh. From the first day of my appointment to the end of that season, Rodney was outstanding. He was our goal scorer, and many of the goals that he did score during that period were due to his individual brilliance. At the end of the season, I received a 3-year contract to be QPR manager, and I've always let it be known that Rodney Marsh got me that job." The strong finish to the season did indeed help Jago get a manager's job full-time. An Andy McCulloch goal earned us a 1-0 win over Leyton Orient, before McCulloch was on the score sheet again, along with Dave Clement, and a double from Terry Venables in a 4-2 win over Swindon. McCulloch made it 4 goals in 3 games with a double against Charlton, as we won 3-0, and any fears of relegation were now long forgotten. Rodney Marsh made it 23 goals for the season in a 2-0 win over Blackburn, his best goal-scoring season since 1966-67. The season ended with a 1-1 draw at home to Middlesbrough, which saw Rangers extend their run to just one defeat in the last 10 games of the season. It wasn't the season the team had hoped for, but a final position of 11th was a good one after fans had feared relegation during the winter months. Leicester and Sheffield United were promoted to the top flight, with Charlton, Blackburn and Bolton relegated. Rodney Marsh was top goal scorer with 23 goals. Nearest to him was Terry Venables, who got 11. Dave Clement had the most appearances that season with 45. Phil Parkes just behind him with 44. The QPR fans were hopeful of a bright future after a strong end to the season under manager Gordon Jago. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a like and subscribe to the channel.